Hey everybody, it's Ariel of Ariel Fitness and Martial Arts here. Everyone's been asking me about my opinion on this Jake Paul-Ben Askren fight, and what I have to say is the following. Ben Askren is a seriously talented athlete with experience in wrestling and has a significant advantage with experience in the ring. However, Jake Paul has been focusing primarily on boxing, and while he is a light new player in the game, he does have a significant amount of sparring experience against professional fighters. This is really the argument about a generalist versus a specialist. When you go to a doctor, you go to your general practitioner, and then if he has an issue with you, he sends you to a specialist, like a cardiologist or a pulmonologist. When it comes to mixed martial arts, it's the same thing. If you're looking for someone who has a karate background, a boxing background, a wrestling background, each of them have unique talents and traits that make them effective fighters in this region. When it comes to the particular Jake Paul and Ben Askren fight, there's no question that Ben Askren's got the experience and he's got the fighting skill and determination. Jake Paul, though, is younger, has been focusing primarily on boxing, and has a tremendous amount of trainers that have surrounded himself. And he's been doing this for a few years straight up. So it does look like it potentially could be a very interesting fight, but I think at the end of the day, the specialist always has the slight advantage. Jake Paul in this situation would be considered the specialist for boxing despite his amateur level of experience because he has been training consistently, regularly, and constantly working up his game. Yes, the fighters that he faced earlier were not as significant as Ben Askren, but it doesn't really make a difference. If you're training, you are training. He's been under the spotlight for years. I don't think that's really his biggest question in terms of anxiety or in terms of fight skill. But Ben Askren hasn't really boxed on a high level. While he may think he has this in the bag by tying it up and tiring him out, Jake Paul's been running 6, 7, 8, 10 miles a day with two-a-days. That's a significant amount, and if you're doing that for months and months and years, you're gonna develop skills and cardio endurance that will help propel you in the fight. Yes, it's true if the fight goes longer than 4 or 5 rounds, Ben Askren might have the edge, but at the end of the day, if you can't strike and you can't get the job done, you can't get the job done. So in this particular fight, I'm giving the edge to Jake Paul. However, I think that if the fight goes a little bit longer, Ben Askren could pull off a win. But I expect Jake Paul to come in the early rounds, and if it doesn't happen in the early rounds, Ben Askren has a shot, although I don't think it's a guarantee of winning this particular fight. However, if you did have a more advanced MMA fighter, particularly known for their striking, like Masvidal or some of these other amazing MMA artists, then you would obviously have, the advantage would be to them. When it comes to other types of treatments in boxing, you have to understand that these are the keys to the game. Who has the endurance, who has the skill, who has the specialization. And in my opinion, the specialist always takes the house. Stay tuned at Ariel Fitness for more exciting updates at arielfitness.com and Ariel Fitness Official. We've got you covered.